One of the perks of being an unapologetic and harsh movie critic who says things as they are and don't try to sugarcoat it because you care about the movie industry and want them to do better is that occasionally someone watches your videos on YouTube and falls in love with the honest and bold-faced criticisms, and sometimes they recommend a movie for you to watch so you can tell them what you think about it. And that brings me neatly along to ADIRE, a movie starring an actress that's been gone from the big screen for a while, a movie that tries to do things differently besides the generic plot that Nollywood seems to adopt these days. A bold movie, if you may. So join me, dear viewers, as I thrust hard and deep into ADIRE with a comprehensive review, refusing to pull out until I've reached the most satisfying of conclusions. So the movie kicks off in a brothel in Lagos, where two seemingly powerful men are figuring out ways to move laundered money out of sight of the authorities. After arriving at their conclusion, one of the men, who's called Captain, he runs the brothel. So he calls on his best girl to pleasure his crime partner as a way of closing the deal. And that's where we're introduced to ADIRE, a beautiful woman who's a talented seamstress and knows her way around a man's body. So anyways, later that night, ADIRE goes to Captain's room, seduces him, steals a shit ton of money, and flees Lagos to nearby Ibadan. Wait, what? You just stole a lot of money from a very powerful and dangerous man. Wouldn't you move to a place where he's got no power and influence, like the northern part of the country? Or better still, leave the country for good measure. Anyway, so she arrives a small town in Ibadan and proceeds to stand out and attract lots of men, and soon enough she's having sex with them for money again. You know, I've got a few gripes with this scene, and also this is where the movie fell off for me from a writing perspective. Alright, listen, you just stole a lot of money from a dangerous person and gone into hiding. You've arrived a small rural town seeking a fresh start, clean slate, you know. That's all the thing. Shouldn't your first objective be to lay low and not attract unwanted attention? Well, ADIRE does the complete opposite. She attracts unwanted attention. She flirts and sleeps with different men. She basically picks up from where she dropped off. The only difference now is she's changed location and she's now her own boss. And oh yeah, Ifeanyi Kalu and his epic beard is here for some reason. And wouldn't you know, he is in love with ADIRE. So anyway, the town's women are angry at ADIRE for stealing the attention of their men, but she shows them how to be attractive to their husbands by giving them miracle bras. It's basically push-up bras if you ask me. So the deaconess of the town isn't all too happy about ADIRE living with them. According to her, she represents everything wrong with society, a classic good versus evil. But the deaconess will come to learn a humbling truth about her family that will teach her not to throw stones when she herself lives in a glass house. Captain would come to find out the whereabouts of ADIRE in the most disappointing of ways, through her bra collections. I'd like to point out, ADIRE never sold her bras in Ibadan. She only gave it out to the town's women as a means of sexually attracting their husbands. So how did the girl come to be in possession of the bra? This right here is terrible writing. Anyway, so he traces her to Ibadan, disciplines her and tells her she's never leaving his side. And so he calls on his partner, tells him he's found a new way to launder money through back channels. And then ADIRE tries to run away again, but he catches up to her in her apartment, strangles her, but she smacks him in the head with a metal bar and he falls down unconscious, seemingly dead. And then someone burns her house down, but everything is okay because she escapes. And then the women of the town, led by a reformed deaconess, accept her as a bona fide member of their community, and the film ends. You know, if I was to say anything positive about this film, it's that it does things differently. It doesn't go in the direction of regular Nollywood movies. ADIRE tries to teach us the implications of looking down on people who have strayed down the wrong path in life. And just because we are in a position of goodwill, we shouldn't be judgmental towards others. I like it, I really do. It works. On the other hand, my criticisms, of which I've got plenty of, is towards the scriptwriter's overreaching ambitions for this movie. What do I mean? Well, the main premise for this movie is all about ADIRE breaking free of her captor and going to a new town to start afresh, where she meets new people, but her past eventually catches up to her. You see, this right here is good and simple, but the scriptwriters tried to cram so many plot points into a 2-hour movie, and the result is an incoherent, incomplete, and incomprehensible movie. Plot points are picked and dropped without giving it a fitting end. For example, what's the deal with the money laundering act? It was only mentioned twice during the entire movie, in the beginning at the brothel and towards the end. It was only included to create tensions, which didn't work in my opinion. Also, the movie tries to explore ADIRE's backstory without much context. All we saw was a kid at a tailor shop being taken away by Captain. And speaking of him, how has he not changed if ADIRE went from a kid to an adult in the same amount of time? And also, the dynamic between ADIRE and Ifeanyi Kalu seemed forced. I never cared for their love interest because the script didn't give us much to care about. Imagine how much layered and emotional their love dynamic would have been if ADIRE had come into town, kept a low profile and under the radar, but Ifeanyi Kalu falls for her unaware of her dark past. And eventually she falls for him too, but one misstep and Captain finds her, exposes her past to Ifeanyi Kalu, thereby throwing a live grenade in their relationship. This would have been better if the scriptwriters decided to go with this. And also, this brings me neatly along into ADIRE's choices. She fled a life that she hated only to come around and do it again. Why? How? This totally ruins her character in this movie, because her character did not grow. Her character did not learn from hardship and strife. If I had to summarize this movie, I'd say it is a bloated, poorly written, half-baked script that does one thing right but flops stupendously at other aspects. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. See you